Hey, it's Elizabeth from Elizabeth Made This, back with part 2 of the zipper ruffle tank. So in this video we're going to break down how to make the zipper unit so that we can add it to our tank, which we'll do in part 3 of this video. So we'll head on down to the sewing room and get to ruffling, zipping, ironing, and such.
So at this point you have your bindings sewn on and the shoulder seams are sewn on, and the interfacing is on top of the placement line that you've marked, and we're going to sew around the green lines, so this funny noodle shape. And remember again that the interfacing is facing up on the garment, so it's we're sewing on the wrong side of the interfacing, which doesn't make sense until we get to the next step, when we're gonna flip it to the inside and fuse it in place. So it'll all make sense in a minute. So we're just stitching around around the funny noodle shape and removing pins as we go. When you get to that corner, then just drop your needle and pivot at the corner. Pivot again. And keep on stitching. And again, drop your needle in the corner and then pivot, drop it again, and then just go back over your stitches that you started with. And it's important to note too that I'm using a really narrow zigzag stitch here, so a 0.5 width and 2.5 length. So that'll make sure that the stitches will stretch a little bit with the knit, so that they don't pop on you. If you just use a straight stitch, then they would possibly pop. So not such a good idea. So now we're going to take some scissors and cut a hole right down that pink line. But my hair is in the way. We'll wait a second for my hair to get out of the way, and then you can see it again. Okay, so you cut along that pink line that we drew earlier. That's the placement line. And we're going to cut all the way between the green lines that we just stitched. So I'm just about to pass the shoulder line. Keep cutting. When you get about an inch away from the end of the little rectangle, then snip right into the corner. You want to get about one thread of the garment away from that. So now I'm going to flip the interfacing towards the inside, and that will begin to make the hole to finish it off. And you want to trim any of the excess interfacing. So you want to trim it to about 3/8 of an inch that you need of that interfacing left, past that stitching line that you did. And now it's ready to go and get pressed.
Okay, so now you want to get in there and get these pressed edges of the interfacing inside of the garment. The cool thing about this is that it's going to finish that edge, and it's going to kind of stabilize the opening, which will be further stabilized once we put on our zipper. If you see with my zipper, I took some of that steam and I used my iron to apply strips of it all the way down the zipper on both sides of the zipper. So on either side of the pull and also on the wrong side of the zipper. And you're going to see why we need all of that in just a minute. But first let's get this interfacing pressed back. So first take your iron and press the edges of it. That'll kind of help it get started to go to the wrong side. Okay, then we're going to flip this over to the wrong side. And then just press it back so that the fusible is going to fuse right into the back side of it and help keep that edge nice and clean and pressed back. So we're kind of using the fusible like glue to keep this hole in place to get it ready for our zipper. Make sure that the fabric underneath of your fusible is smooth so that you don't have any weird holes on this. Especially wash the corners. So you flip it back over and you can see now the hole is nice and well finished, but we're not going to leave it like this, although we almost could. Kind of make a fun cold shoulder just by itself, but it's not very stable. It'd be kind of prone to falling apart after a while. So we're going to help it out with the zipper tape. So I'm going to start on this side first. Yes, that's what I want to do. Okay, so this is the front side of my top and this is the back side. So I still have my zipper placement line right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the seam off of the back side of the zipper. So it's already been fused into place, and I'm taking off the paper strips that helped you press it. And so now there's this sticky tape on the side of it, and what's going to happen is that we're going to put it down and we're going to fuse it into place, and it's going to hold the zipper in place while we stitch it down. Okay, we want the zipper to be facing up. Okay, so now I've started pressing the zipper tape into place. So I'm using zipper tape by the yard, but you can definitely use just regular closed-ended zippers. That's probably an easier thing to do. So I'm following my placement line, and I'm just going up the shoulder and back around. And I don't want to go Okay, so when I get to the hole, I want to make sure that the zipper tape is right in the center of that. That way, when I open this up, it's going to open up cleanly. And we can see that peekaboo effect. So the pull is going from the back side of the top to the front side of the top. And that's how we want to orient it. The hardest thing to do is going to be to fuse it kind of on this curve. It's just tricky because the top is flexible and the tape is not. So just kind of do your best with it. And don't forget that the ruffle is going to cover up a lot of this. So in a way, we kind of don't have to be super, super perfect about it. And that steam seam is just going to glue the zipper into place while we do the rest of our stuff. Okay, so next we want to take one of the ruffle pieces that we cut. So again, it's 2 inches wide by twice the length of your zipper. So for me, that was I just cut a piece that was a yard long. So I'm going to take my machine and put it on my longest stitch length, which in my case is 5, and I am going to just sew right along the very edge of my ruffle. As it gets away from me. Okay, you're going to pull the threads so that it gathers the whole length of the ruffle. And you want to pull on the bobbin thread. It's usually a little easier than pulling on the needle thread. And just distribute all the gathers pretty as evenly as you can along the length. Sometimes it's good to kind of start it and pull a little bit more. Just keep doing that until it is gathered evenly. And then we will put this up to the zipper tape and decide exactly how much of this gathering we actually need. But it's good just to get it kind of even so that when we need to redistribute the gathers, it'll be totally even. Okay, and we will set that aside to fuse onto our zipper in the next step. Okay, so now our zipper is temporarily in place with the steam seam, and I am going to grab my ruffle pieces. So the ruffles you want to adjust so they're the length of the zipper. And we're just going to go along, just double check it's the right length. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and take off this top layer of steam seam. Just get rid of that protective paper. And then I'm going to take a ruffle piece and I am going to lay it right at the edge of the zipper teeth. And it's okay if a little bit of the tape shows. It's probably easier to sew that way too. You just don't want it to be so far up that it's going to take up too much space. Okay, I actually don't need all of this on the zipper. Okay, and then just fuse the ruffle into place. And the steam seam likes the seam, hence haha steam seam. This is going to replace us basting, doing lots of extra stitching that we don't really want or need to do. Plus it just makes, the steam seam makes it really super easy to work with. They're not paying me! Steam seam, I use you all the time, pay me to endorse you, seriously. You can see what cool things the ruffles are going to do when we get a little bit further in. Okay, so now you can see that my ruffle is nice and good in place. So I'm going to do that on the other side of the zipper tape with one of my other ruffles. Double checking my length as I lay this out here. What is it with ruffles? They always kind of twist on you. Okay, alright, now I'm going to just hit that with some more steam. So now I'm going to switch to a zipper foot. And I'm going to set my machine for a zigzag stitch with a 0.5 width and a 2.5 length. Okay, and I'm going to stitch right at the edge of the zipper all the way around. You're just going to let your zipper tape go along, the foot to go along the edge of the teeth as it's going around the tape. That way we don't stitch anything we don't need to stitch, and we're still going to get close enough to the teeth. The ruffle gathers are getting in the way, just kind of move them as you're going over them with the foot. As you get to the pole, just kind of move it as you need to around everything. Okay, and then just go ahead and pivot and stitch along the other side. Uh-oh, that came undone. What? So now you want to go and remove the gathering stitches, which is going to be a little tricky. Okay. And that's one side of the zipper. So now all we got to do is repeat all those steps for the other side. After we do that, we are going to close up this side seam. And I am just going to get rid of this extra bit of binding because I don't need it. Same thing over here. I also have extra bits of the zipper, but I'm not going to worry about that. I will take care of that after I put the sides together. Want to see more Elizabeth Made This? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe below. Happy sewing!